Hi, this is Josh with Resort TV 1, and today I'm taking you on a full tour of Disney's Polynesian Village Resort at Walt Disney World in 4K at 60 frames per second. We hope you enjoy the video. Please remember to leave us a like and a comment on the video and let us know what you think. Also, be sure to hit that red subscribe button right below the video and turn the notification bell on right next to the subscribe button. Set it to all notifications so that you get notified every time we go live or have a new video. Also, be sure to follow us on social media. We're Resort TV 1 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So, let's get started with the tour of Disney's Polynesian Village Resort. And we're starting just outside the main entrance of the resort at the tropical gardens and water features that greet you as you enter. And I recommend taking some time to stop and enjoy these, get some pictures, and just soak it all in because it's absolutely gorgeous. And it's just so peaceful. And directly opposite the main tropical gardens here is the porte cochere, where cars can be loaded and unloaded, and you can also get valet parking and check your luggage and many other services at the front of the resort here. And by the way, this is an updated version of the tour. I first did it back in 2017, so it's great to be back in 2020 and give an update to this tour, my very favorite resort at Walt Disney World. And there you can kind of see an overview of where those tropical gardens are, as well as the baggage check area and where you can get bell services. And this is the main entrance to the resort itself, just up ahead. And I love all the gardens here. We've got tiki torches, tiki statues, and just all kinds of lush tropical plants and beautiful rock formations, water features. It really is just a sight to behold. So again, be sure to stop and enjoy. The Disney gardeners truly have created something of a masterpiece here in these gardens, and wow, it would just be so great to have something like this in your backyard, wouldn't it? And the tikis are so detailed too. I just love how colorful all the plants are and just lush and gorgeous. And they're able to even take care of them in the winter as well. They put heaters on them and cover them up and everything else. So even though the Florida winters are not always warm, they take very good care of them. And here's the water feature, of course, on the other side of the sidewalk, and both of them have a waterfall at the back as kind of the centerpiece of the entire garden. And again, just so peaceful, the flowing water and with the beautiful building behind it, which by the way is the Great Ceremonial House, which is the main building and the main lobby area in the Polynesian Resort. And we'll enter that here in just a few minutes. And here's another angle of the waterfall on the other side of the sidewalk. And just above there you can see the monorail platform. And you may or may not know that the Polynesian Resort is one of 3 monorail resorts at Walt Disney World, and that means that it's directly connected to the Magic Kingdom and the Transportation and Ticket Center by monorail. So we'll talk about that a little bit later, but in the meantime, here's the main entrance to the Great Ceremonial House. But we're not ready to go in quite yet. Let's take a few more looks at the gardens, and then I want to show you the bus stop as well before we go inside. Another look at one of those beautiful waterfalls. And they've got some really nice benches here where you can sit and wait for your car to be unloaded or just enjoy the peaceful tropical serenity of this area. So now let's head down towards the bus stop and show you where that is. It's a little bit further away from the main building than at some other resorts, so I want to make sure everybody knows how to get there. And you can see the 2 monorail tracks just overhead. One of the monorail tracks, the one closest where the monorail gold is sitting there on the track, is the resort monorail loop. And this is the one that you'll take from the Polynesian to any other destination. And the one that is moving on the left-hand side there is actually the express monorail, which goes just to the Magic Kingdom and the Transportation and Ticket Center and does not stop at any of the resorts. And if you want to get to Epcot on the monorail, of course you're going to need to go from the Polynesian all the way around to the Transportation and Ticket Center, then get off that monorail and transfer to an Epcot monorail. So be sure that you understand that if you're going to Epcot, you actually do have to get off the resort monorail and transfer over to the Epcot monorail in order to get there. But in the meantime, let's enjoy this stroll down to the bus stop. And as you can see, it is a little bit of a hike. It's not too bad, but definitely in the rain, you're going to want to have your poncho or an umbrella because it is not covered. And as we get closer to the bus stop, you'll also see the parking lot there on your right-hand side. So if you bring your car here to the Polynesian, this is where you'll park. They have both standard self-parking as well as valet parking. And here's the bus stop. So it's not a big bus stop, but remember the Polynesian has other transportation options such as the monorail. It's got boat service to the Magic Kingdom and the bus service as well. So you don't actually have to take a bus everywhere. In fact, they don't even offer a bus to the Magic Kingdom, or I believe not even to Epcot, unless the monorail isn't running. So that's something else to remember. They do have these great directional signs everywhere along the resort though, so it makes it really easy to get around and know where you need to go. And here comes another resort monorail in that looks like monorail orange. So now we'll head back into the Port Cochere, as well as the Great Ceremonial House and the main entrance to the main lobby of the resort. And I hope this little stroll helps you to understand exactly where the bus stop is compared to the main Great Ceremonial House of the resort. The whole goal of this video is just to help you navigate the resort better and be prepared for your stay. So now let's head inside the Great Ceremonial House and check out the beautiful, beautiful lobby. And each resort at Walt Disney World has these custom floor mats as you enter, and actually these are pretty popular. They even have them for sale on different websites online, so that's a lot of fun. And as we enter the lobby, you'll see that beautiful polished stone floor, and of course a very spacious and tropically themed lobby as you'd expect. And you see the tiki statue with the fountain in the middle. And of course, if you came to the Polynesian several years ago, back in the early 2000s, you'll remember the beautiful waterfall and tropical rainforest type fountain area that was there in the middle of this lobby. And of course, those particular ornaments that I'm showing at the top there were added later after the original water feature and tropical landscape area was taken out. A lot of people were really sad about that, and I am as well. We remember that and have fond memories of how beautiful that was and sitting around it for sure. And here's the check-in desk as well as bell services. And just adjacent to that in the front door is the concierge desk, as well as a nice little sitting area where they have cartoons and things for kids to watch playing on the TV. And just adjacent to that is the main shop on the first floor here of the Polynesian called Boutique, which is a great play on words, of course, of boutique and then tiki there added on the end of the sign. And even though the main water feature that used to be in the resort here is gone, you can still see very lush tropical plant life that is in here to adorn and decorate this beautiful lobby area. And there are more places to sit now, and it's a little bit more clear to walk through, but still do miss that original water feature, and we'll add a picture of that in here at some point during the video. You can see lots of comfortable sitting spaces, coffee tables, and all kinds of things where you can just enjoy sitting in this beautiful lobby. And one thing I should also mention is that it smells wonderful in here. It's like a rose smell. So definitely check that out if you're in here and enjoy the smell. And here's a little closer look at the tiki statue, and you can see the lava rocks there, and the tiki himself is very beautifully carved, and he's holding a lei there. And by the way, you can get a lei when you walk into the lobby there if you find one of the cast members who is handing them out. And you can see not a lot of water running through there. Sometimes the water is a little bit more obvious at the front of the lava rocks, but still very beautiful. And around the backside, as I call backside of tiki here, you can see really beautiful tropical flowers and again more lava rock. And again, if this is the first time you've seen this, you'd think that was a really nice little statue and water feature, but of course we all know what was there before, and it was just absolutely amazing. Even with that said, this is still one of my favorite resort lobbies, and love coming in here and just relaxing and enjoying a peaceful afternoon in the Polynesian Resort. And here's a beautifully painted map of the Polynesian and the Seven Seas Lagoon. You can see the Cinderella Castle and a couple other Magic Kingdom landmarks across the way over there. And that's right next to, again, the check-in desk as well as the beautiful sitting areas. And the beautiful ornamentation here hanging from the ceiling was added after the main water feature was removed, and to me it really looks like the styling and theming of Trader Sam's, which we'll show you later in the video. So let's go take a look inside Boutique at some of the amazing merchandise as well as the beautiful decor that makes this one of the most unique places to shop in all of Walt Disney World. The sign is so cool here. Again, the way that tiki was kind of added as an afterthought, and all the tikis and wood carvings along the way there. Really, really cool. And this is actually my favorite tiki. He's just so happy. He's having a great time just welcoming everybody into the shop, showing off all the merch, and just really well painted and carved there. And at the front, they've kind of got a display with coffee and chocolates and all kinds of great stuff. And that's the Kona Cafe coffee. So if you like the specialty Kona coffee blend that we'll show you in the Kona Cafe above, you can go check that out. And this tiki here has got his haul of merchandise behind him. Looks like some plants back there. And I do like they've got some unique shirts that are hard to find in other areas of the property. Some really cool dress shirts, tropical theme merchandise, of course, as you'd expect. And I really like in the store that they've got a great selection of merchandise for men that's kind of rare in the parks anymore. So really nice to see some great shirts and a great selection of stuff for the guys. Love that picture of Minnie and Mickey there. And they've also got some of the stuff you can find in the parks, like the retro Walt Disney World t-shirts, and also some DVC merchandise here. You can see that Disney Vacation Club member bag. That's really pretty cool. So now let's head over into the other side of the shop, and we'll see some of the ladies' merchandise. And also you'll notice in this shop there's no food or any kind of toiletries or any other incidental items. Those are all upstairs, and we'll take a look at those later. But this resort does have those products. And they do have H2O products available, though. These are the same products that you'll find in the rooms, so they're pretty popular, and they're actually really high quality. So a lot of people really love to buy those when they see that they're available. And here you can see some lady swimwear, beach towels, all kinds of great stuff. And of course a lot of merchandise with Stitch on it, because you know Stitch is from Hawaii and very popular in this resort. Of course he always makes appearances at Ohana, and we may see him a little bit later. Some cool retro Walt Disney World sweatshirts and phone cases, all kinds of great stuff. And even a few Mickey and Minnie stuffed animals for the kids. That poor Tiki is really struggling to hold up his heavy load, but he's doing a great job. There's even a wall of mugs and plates and cups and teapots, all kinds of really cool stuff for the house. And I love this one. We call this one Sneaky Tiki. He's kind of spying on everybody in the store, making sure everybody's behaving, I guess. Now we're back out in the lobby, and we'll head over and check out some of the other parts of this amazing Great Ceremonial House lobby area. And you can see the other two shops right up there on the second floor. And we'll check those out a little later, but that's where you can find the toiletries, food, and other miscellaneous items. It's a really cool display over there, especially with the octopus kind of setting everything off in the corner. And here's the Disney Vacation Club Preview Center, and of course they're advertising the Riviera Resort, which just opened. But let's go ahead up the stairs and check out Ohana. I love the rock work here on the walls just below Ohana. It's really beautiful and just really adds to the tropical ambiance of the resort. And there aren't any staircases in the front of the Great Ceremonial House by the main entrance. You'll have to go up in the back. So if you want to do the monorail, you have to walk to the back of the building and then go up the stairs that way and head back to the front. Love all the tropical plant life here again. Just absolutely beautiful, and the artwork on the wall. And you can see over here into Ohana, which is the main restaurant in Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, and is very, very famous for having amazing food and great character experiences. So we'll take a look at it. So there's the sign, Ohana, and you can see the skewers in the fire. That's what it's famous for. And if you've never eaten at Ohana, you definitely need to make that a priority on your next trip. It is absolutely amazing food. It's got a beautiful view. It's great family style dining, character experiences for the kids or even for adults. It's just a really, really nice place to eat, and pretty much everybody that stays here, I think, tries to make this part of their vacation, or if not, you should. And you can see all the beautiful tropical decor, and just a really great place to eat and enjoy time with the whole family. But one of the best features of this particular restaurant is the amazing view right outside. You can see Cinderella Castle over there, Space Mountain, even the Tron construction, and of course the main Polynesian pool area, which we'll check out a little bit later in the video, as well as of course the Seven Seas Lagoon. So it's just an absolutely amazing view, and you can even see the fireworks, and they even pipe the music from Happily Ever After or any fireworks show into the restaurant here. And of course they've got Lilo here greeting guests. Stitch will be out probably a little bit later, and I believe that's Mickey greeting guests as well. So it's really awesome to see all the character experiences in these restaurants, and it's a lot of fun for the kids and the whole family. And here's the kitchen area with some of that amazing Polynesian bread there sitting under the warmer. Just lots of great food here. And here's Tambu Lounge. This is a bar just outside of Ohana. It's a great place to wait for your reservation for Ohana to be ready to go, or just to sit here and enjoy a beautiful view out the window and some amazing drinks. You've got TVs here. They show sports at different times, and sometimes the Disney Channel, depending on what's on at that part of the day. So let's take a look at the menu here at the Tambu Lounge and show you what you can expect if you'd like to get a drink here. Of course, you see lots of mixed drinks of the tropical variety as you might expect, and some explanations of what the Tambu Lounge is all about, and even a back scratcher with an actual back scratcher inside the drink itself. There's the Polynesian pineapple and all kinds of wonderful drinks to enjoy. So pretty much no shortage of creativity here, just like at Trader Sam's downstairs, which we'll check out here a little bit later. And of course, feel free to pause the video here so you can see some of these selections in a little bit more detail. And they've got a great selection of beer, some seasonal things, lagers, ales, all kinds of different things, even sparkling water. And here's the wine selection. And they've even got some non-alcoholic mocktails that you can enjoy. And they've got this sign just outside the Tambu Lounge that shows you some of the things that you can do here at the Polynesian, as well as restaurants that you can enjoy. And this is the main waiting area for Ohana just outside the Tambu Lounge. And you can actually see guests waiting there for their picture with Pluto, so that's a lot of fun to keep people entertained while they wait to eat at Ohana. And here's the Tambu Lounge sign just across from the bar itself. And here's the check-in area for Ohana. You can see the desk there. It's actually not that close to the restaurant because you can see it way back there in the corner. So just so you can get an idea of how everything's laid out. But that is where you'll go and check in, and then the restaurant again is just across from the waiting area. And here's the elevator area just around the corner from the Ohana check-in desk. So if you need elevators, that's where they are. And you can see again the beautiful decorations hanging from the ceiling. And let's take a look at the tiki statue and water feature in the middle of the main lobby on the first floor. Pretty nice view from up there, really. And I love the really dark wood timbers holding everything together here in the Great Ceremonial House. That hasn't changed since the resort opened. They've been probably painted slightly different shades, but it's nice that they've kept that intact, even though the original water feature and things like that have been changed. And from this vantage point, we'll take another view of that beautiful first floor of the lobby. It's a really great place on these balconies to just stop and enjoy the ambiance in this amazing Great Ceremonial House. So now let's take a look at the other store here in the Great Ceremonial House, and that is Moana Mercantile. And it's actually split into two sections. This is the food and toiletry section, so you've got the coolers over there with various drinks, and you can even get milk, condiments, pretty much whatever you want over there in that cooler. They've even got a wine selection there in the back, candy, even some basic food items there towards the back corner. So a lot of things here. It's not a full-service grocery store or anything, but they do have DVC rooms here, so if you are cooking in your room, they do have some condiments and food items if you forgot something. They've even got some frozen pizza and different things like that that you might expect, almost like in a convenience store, but of course a little bit nicer. And here's the other side of Moana Mercantile, and this is kind of the toy section. So you noticed probably down in the first floor, Boutique, there really weren't a lot of toys. You saw a few Mickey and Minnie plush characters, but not very many toys. So this is the toy store area, and kids love to come up here. It's very whimsically, tropically decorated. I love the, straw roof there, and just all the bamboo architecture. It's really fun for the kids and even for the parents. And you've got a lot of Stitch and Angel there because, they're from Hawaii, so they're very popular, again, like I said, at this resort. There's a gigantic Stitch. I mean, who wouldn't want a gigantic Stitch, right? And again, the architecture here in the shop is really great with this overhang that is very tropically themed and just really looks great with all the toys under it. And they've got some 2020 merchandise right here between the two shops. There's actually a passageway here that connects the two parts of Moana Mercantile. They're two separate storefronts, but both sides of the shop are connected by that passageway. And there you can see some great toys there. I love the transportation themed toys. And one final look at the straw roof area, and then we'll head back outside towards the monorail boarding area. So you can see the monorail just outside that really nice lounge area, and just across from the monorail doors is the Kona Cafe. So we'll take a look at that here in just a bit. And here's another look at the main lobby area from the balcony, and again, it's just a great place to stop, relax, and enjoy. This is looking back onto Moana Mercantile, the toy section, and again out towards the monorail. And they do have security there that you'll have to go through before you board any of the resort monorails, so be prepared for that. Also, as I mentioned before, you can take the monorail from here to Magic Kingdom or Epcot, but for Epcot you'll have to transfer at the TTC. And here is the Kona Island Coffee Bar, famous for the Kona coffee that a lot of people really enjoy. And it's right next to the Kona Cafe, which we'll take a look at here in just a bit. But let's take a look at some of the yummy desserts here in this display case. And you can see some amazing desserts there, along with a Stitch-themed dessert, as you might expect. Actually, a couple Stitch-themed desserts. And here's a look at the menu for the Kona Island Coffee and Sushi Bar. And before we take a look at the inside of the Kona Cafe, we can actually take a look at the menu. Now you've got appetizers, burgers and sandwiches, chef's recommendations, entrees, and dashi bowls, as well as featured beers. And now here's a look at the inside of the Kona Cafe. And I love that fan there on the ceiling. It's just really unique, and I love the tropical decor throughout the restaurant. It's a really relaxed place to eat, and it's unique in that it's kind of open into the balcony of the second floor there of the Great Ceremonial House. So you can just kind of eat and relax, watch the monorail go by that we just saw there. And it's just very unique and different from the Ohana restaurant. It's a little bit more relaxed and laid back. And one last look at the amazing interior of this Kona Cafe. And the food is really good here too, so I definitely recommend trying it out when you're here. And now we're back downstairs in the Great Ceremonial House, and we'll check out some of the other restaurants and attractions here in this main building. So let's head down towards Captain Cook's and Trader Sam's. But before we do, let's check out this really cool decoration case. First, we've got Huey, Dewey, and Louie hanging out here, as well as Tropical Minnie, and some great pictures here on the wall. Let's take a look at what's here. You can see a really great picture of Walt and Lillian there on a Hawaiian vacation that they took. And here's a little closer look at Polynesian Minnie. She's already in her grass skirt and her lei for a tropical luau here at the Polynesian Resort. And you can see various movie posters and also soundtracks and all kinds of great stuff here on the wall. This is one I'd like to draw your attention to. This is the Adventureland Steel Band that used to play in the Pirates of the Caribbean Plaza there at the Magic Kingdom. So that's pretty cool to see that. You can actually still download that album in several different places. And here's the only set of restrooms on the first floor in the Great Ceremonial House. So they're right here in front of Captain Cook's and just past the Boutique. So just so you know, if you need to use the restroom, that is where the closest set are on the first floor. There are also some directly above that, right next to the Ohana restaurant. And now let's take a look inside of Captain Cook's. This is really cool. It was recently renovated actually in the last few years, and they added all these really neat posters for different destinations in Hawaii and parts of the tropics. So really neat to see. It's almost like some of the old Eastern Airlines posters and things that you used to see around airports and different places. So here's the topping bar. You've got coolers there where you can get different types of drinks, and of course you can order your food right over here. We'll take a look at the menu here in just a second. It's pretty much standard menu items. There are a few menu items with a Hawaiian flair, but overall what you'd expect at a Disney hotel fast food restaurant. And here's a look at the drink station. And one of the things that used to be here is actually a Dole Whip machine, and they'd give you your cup and you could fill up your Dole Whip as high as you wanted. So we used to have a little bit of a competition to see how high we could get our Dole Whip to go without it falling over. So that was a lot of fun. I do kind of miss that, but that's probably also why they have it out here in the pineapple lanai, which we'll take a look at here in just a minute. But this is the outdoor eating area for Captain Cook's, and you can also see the pool right behind that and the kids pool area just adjacent to the eating area here. And there's a lot of great places to eat. If you pick the right table, you can actually get a great view of the Magic Kingdom from just the tables on the opposite end of this eating area. We've got some great tikis and garden areas, as well as the kids play area that you can enjoy while you're eating. And here's a look the opposite direction towards the green area and the main rear exit to the Great Ceremonial House. And as we continue on towards the other side of the building, towards Trader Sam's, we'll see this really beautiful, relaxing waterfall that's just really peaceful as you sit and enjoy your drinks. And this is, by the way, the outdoor seating area for Trader Sam's. Most people don't know that, and most people don't sit here when they visit Trader Sam's, but you can see later on, this is about noon when I film this, but later on around 3 or 4 p.m., Trader Sam's will open and you'll be able to get all the same Trader Sam's drinks outside as you can inside. Of course, not nearly as popular as the inside of Trader Sam's, though, because obviously it's a lot more interesting inside the restaurant, but a lot of times it's hard to get in, so if you want to enjoy the same drinks, there's a great place to sit and relax out here, especially if the weather's nice. You get a great view again of the Magic Kingdom and the Grand Floridian there. And there you can see one of the Polynesian Resort longhouses, which is where the majority of the rooms are located. There are a few bungalows, and we'll take a look at those later. You can also see the marina where you can rent boats, and some great tiki statues, as well as the volcano structure that houses the main water slide. There's an upside down tiki. Lots of great landscaping and garden areas here as well. So now let's head back towards the inside portion of Trader Sam's, and we'll take a look inside there. And this is the side exit to the resort, Great Ceremonial House. And this is the door to Trader Sam's, and of course it's not open right now, but it will be open a little bit later today, and we'll take a look inside from some footage that I previously shot when we were in here. And according to the sign, it opens at 3 p.m., which I think is the normal opening time. And so here we are inside Trader Sam's, and I apologize if the footage is a little shaky. This was taken with a different phone a lot earlier, but you can still get a great idea of what's inside here in this really, really amazing lounge and bar. And these windows are so cool with the clouds going by and the volcanoes in the background, and eventually it'll storm and kind of get red and angry like the volcanoes are erupting, so that's a lot of fun. The ceilings are very ornately decorated, a lot of lanterns and different tropical lighting fixtures. And here's what it looks like when it gets angry and erupts, and that's pretty cool. There's some sound effects, and the rest of the room reacts as well. I don't have the sound effects in on this video, but I'll have to show that in a separate video. But Trader Sam's is really unique, it's very interactive, and it's definitely worth a visit when you're here at Disney's Polynesian Resort. Even if you don't drink or don't like alcohol, there's non-alcoholic drinks here and food you can get, so definitely check out Trader Sam's just for the atmosphere in this amazing place to visit. And the eruption's over and all is calm. And so now we're back outside and we'll explore the rest of this amazing resort. This is such a huge resort and there's so much to explore even outside of the Great Ceremonial House, so let's take a look. And throughout the resort you'll enjoy beautiful tropical landscaping and gardens that'll just really put you in a relaxed mood. Just amazing. And here's a map of the resort so you can kind of get the lay of the land and see where you are in relationship to what you want to explore. And this is the inner harbor here that's really, really picturesque, next to the marina where you can rent some boats. We'll take a look at the actual boat rental area here in just a bit, but as we walk along, let's talk a little bit about the history of the resort. Disney's Polynesian Village Resort opened on October 1st, 1971, along with the Contemporary Resort and the Magic Kingdom. So Disney World opened with only 2 resorts, but since those 2 resorts were the Polynesian and the Contemporary, they were pretty amazing resorts to welcome guests for the first few years of operation. And also, some trivia for any Beatles fans. John Lennon officially signed the papers to break up the Beatles on December 29, 1974, in one of these rooms overlooking the Seven Seas Lagoon where you could see Cinderella Castle. So now let's take a little closer look at the marina. You can see the water mouse boats there in the canal ready to go out on the Seven Seas Lagoon. And we're also next to the water park area, and you can see there's a gate there. You need a magic band to enter, but it's right next to the volcano water slide as well, which we'll take a look at here in just a few minutes. Here's the kids' play area. This is a really whimsical, tiki-themed tropical area for kids and families to enjoy. It's just a great place to get wet and really enjoy some fun in the sun here in Florida. There's the back side of that volcano water slide, and that's where you climb the stairs to enjoy the slide. And here's a closer look at what I called water mouse boats earlier. They're actually called sea racers, but if you haven't taken one of these out on the Seven Seas Lagoon, you really should. They're a lot of fun to just cruise around the Seven Seas Lagoon as well as Bay Lake. You can actually take the boats all the way over to Bay Lake and look around the Fort Wilderness area, Wilderness Lodge, and then back over in front of the Magic Kingdom. So it's just really amazing. You can also rent them at the beach club, but it's a lot more fun at the Seven Seas Lagoon with a lot more water to cruise around. There you can see the pricing, $32 for 30 minutes. That's really not too bad at all. You can also rent pontoon boats, do fireworks cruises, and even guided bass fishing excursions. So that's pretty amazing. And here's a closer look at one of the sea racers, and you can even see a map of where you're allowed to pilot your boat. So you can see in the red areas you're not allowed to go, and the rest of the lake there's some kind of pink areas where there's no wake zones, and so you can study that before you go out on your cruise. So definitely try that if you've got time the next time you're here at the Polynesian. And here they've got this boatside bar, and they've got several different drinks you can enjoy while you're out here, either after your excursion onto the Seven Seas Lagoon or enjoying some time at the pool. And it's actually accessible to both guests that are inside the pool area and guests that are outside the pool area. So you don't actually have to be staying at the resort to enjoy these amenities. You can go rent a boat, you can enjoy the bar there. The only thing you can't do is go inside the pool. So now we're back over here by the Captain Cook's eating area and the main rear exit to the Great Ceremonial House. I love that green area there, and this banyan tree is just absolutely beautiful. They've got a couple banyan trees here in the Polynesian Resort grounds, and they're really just absolutely exquisite and something that you really don't see that often. And there's that rear exit to the Great Ceremonial House, but right next to that rear exit is the Pineapple Lanai, and this is where you get that all-important and famous Dole Whip. So again, it used to be inside of Captain Cook's with the serve-yourself machine, but now it's here in this Pineapple Lanai. They've got all different types of Dole Whip that you can enjoy. So you can see the menu there. Definitely come and check this out. It's usually a little bit crowded, but they get the people served in the line pretty quickly, so definitely come and enjoy some Dole Whip next time you're at the Polynesian. And so now let's head out to explore the rest of this amazing resort. And again, like I said, I love this green area where families can just sit and enjoy a beautiful afternoon, complete with a view of Cinderella Castle back there. You really can't beat it. It's just so amazing. And we'll also take a look at the main pool area as we pass by. You can also see some of the Polynesian longhouses where all of the guest rooms are housed. And here's one more look at the Captain Cook's eating area, and on the second floor is the Ohana restaurant. And so here's a look at the main pool area in the resort. You've got that beautiful volcano with the waterfall and the water slide, and a lot of different umbrellas, chairs and tables, and places to just enjoy a beautiful Florida sunny afternoon. Not completely sunny today, but still a beautiful afternoon to enjoy this amazing pool area. A lot of lava rocks and volcanic type formations and really tropical decor. Just a really well done pool area that was actually refurbished back in 2015. So it was a lot smaller than this, and they've really expanded it, added the kids' play area, and just all kinds of great amenities for guests to enjoy. And this pathway leads all the way back to the Seven Seas Lagoon, so we're going to head back there and show you some of the sights of the pool as we walk around. You can see that amazing waterfall and kind of a little cave that's created by that volcano water slide. Definitely something fun for the kids to enjoy. And this is the Hawaii Longhouse, and it's actually one of the concierge longhouses here at the Polynesian, so you get access to a really, really amazing lounge with buffet-style food and drinks and pretty much whatever you could possibly want, with a wonderful view of the Happily Ever After fireworks with the music piped right inside. Here's a look at the hot tub as well as the pool right behind. And now let's head down towards the Seven Seas Lagoon, and you'll see just a really beautiful view right here next to the Polynesian bungalows. And there were 20 bungalows that were added between 2013 and 2015 here at the Polynesian Resort. They're actually called the Bora Bora bungalows, and we'll talk about those here again in just a minute. But they also have these beautiful beach areas where you can sit and relax in the sand and just enjoy the sunshine and the beautiful view of the Seven Seas Lagoon, the Grand Floridian, as well as the Magic Kingdom. And they do have the rope fence there to keep you from going in the water, and there are gators in the area, so definitely heed those warnings and stay away from the water and away from those fences. And here comes one of the boats that takes you to the resorts in the Seven Seas Lagoon as well as the Magic Kingdom. And this water transportation is really convenient here at the Polynesian, and it's actually really scenic as well, so definitely recommend taking that while you're here at the resort. Of course, you're going to want to take the monorail as well, but that water transportation is a lot of fun, and it's something that's actually a little bit underrated, so definitely try that out. They also have some hammocks here on the beach that you can enjoy, so definitely come over and check out the hammocks and just enjoy the breeze and the beautiful music and tropical scenery here at the Polynesian Resort. They even have a beach volleyball court there. And here's another look at those Bora Bora bungalows. Again, as I mentioned, there's 20 of them. They opened around 2015, and they are absolutely amazing inside. We actually have a tour of one of the bungalows on another video that we did for the channel, so I'll link that in the description, but definitely check that out. The bungalows are just really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and experience. There's an amazing view of the castle as well as the Seven Seas Lagoon, so definitely check out that video and check out a bungalow if you get a chance to do so. And now we're going to head up towards what we call Sunset Point. Sunset Point is really an amazing place. They actually have weddings up here at different times. Great view of the bungalows as well as the rest of the Seven Seas Lagoon. And so, of course, a great view of the Grand Floridian. And there's Cinderella Castle. And, of course, the Contemporary. Just such a peaceful spot. It's very rarely crowded, and really a high vantage point for looking at some of these amazing scenes here on the Seven Seas Lagoon. You can also see the ferry boat there in the background. And there's another look at the Contemporary with the ferry boat in the background, and that does indicate to you how close we are to the Transportation and Ticket Center, because of course the ferry boats go between the Magic Kingdom and the Transportation and Ticket Center. And we'll show you a walkway here in just a little bit between the Polynesian Resort and the Transportation and Ticket Center, so stay tuned for that. And you can see all these Polynesian Village Resort longhouses have a slightly different shape and a slightly different configuration. And the building on the left is called Tokolo, and it's actually one of the DVC buildings here in the resort. There are 3 DVC buildings in the resort: Tokolo, Moorea, and Pago Pago. And we were recently fortunate enough to take a tour of one of the DVC studio rooms here in the Tokolo building. This was taken from another video, but let's go ahead and take a look at one of these DVC studio rooms. And as you enter, you can see the bathrooms immediately on your left. And there I am in the mirror filming with my cell phone. Hello. And the renovation and conversion of these rooms from regular guest rooms into DVC studio rooms was completed in mid-2015. It's a really cool painting of the mermaids there. And very tropically tiki-inspired shower curtain. And now let's take a look at the rest of the room. You can see there's a little bit of a kitchenette area. We'll check that out here in just a bit. And here you can see a door to the adjoining room, so you can book adjoining rooms here in the Tokolo building, but they're not like 1-bedroom lock-offs or 2-bedroom studio lock-offs like you'll see in other DVC resorts, so that is a difference here. These are all studios in this building. And you can see the kitchenette here, see a sink and a little mini fridge and a little coffee maker, so you've got a small area to prepare food if you'd like to do that, but not a full kitchen like you'll see in some DVC resorts. There is a second shower here, which that's actually really helpful. If you're a whole family getting ready, you know how long it takes for everybody to shower, so that's definitely a helpful feature. You also have a second sink, and again, another really helpful feature for larger families getting ready in the morning to hit the parks. And here we are in the bedroom section of the room. And as you can see, we've got a queen-size bed complete with Mickey and Minnie adorned there. Of course, that was added by the people in the room, but still, great touch. And actually, there's enough room underneath the bed for suitcases, so that's nice. It gets them out of the way and adds more space in the room. There's also a sofa sleeper over here, and that pulls out into almost another queen-size bed, so that's nice. And this family was using a pack and play for a smaller child, and you can see there's plenty of room for that by the door out to the balcony. And there's a nice table where you can eat breakfast or snacks or whatever you need to do. So now we'll head out towards the balcony. And they've got a really great view here from the balcony. You can see the great ceremonial house as well as that quiet pool that we were talking about just a second ago. And here's another really cool feature right underneath the TV. This is actually a twin-size bed, so it opens up there into this twin-size bed, and you can actually see Lilo and Stitch there in the hammock like in the Hawaiian Islands. Really, really cool, and just a beautiful mural. That'd be a great place to sleep. Lovely backdrop. So all in total, this room would actually sleep 5 pretty comfortably, which is great. We actually grew up with 5 in the family and always had to have a rollaway bed, but here's this one, very conveniently located and looks a lot more comfortable than a rollaway, so this is a really great feature. So now we're back outside, and let's take a look at that quiet pool that's just adjacent to the Tokolo building in the DVC. Now keep in mind that all resort guests can use this. This is open to any guest of the Polynesian resort, but you do have to be staying here to use it. And it says so right there, but it is not just for DVC. And you can see some beautiful cabana areas in the back, as well as great views of some of the longhouses. And it's a lot less crowded than the main pool as well. It even has a hot tub over there in the corner, so a lot of great features and a lot less crowds, so that's a pretty good benefit. So now inside the pool area, you can see everybody swimming and having a good time, but again, way lower crowds. And there's even an Oasis bar and restaurant over here, so we'll take a look at the menu as well as some of the eating areas in that restaurant. So it's really nice to have an extra eating area here, especially if you live in the Tokolo. You don't have to walk all the way to the Great Ceremonial House to get some food. And you can see there's a really nice bar area. It's not very crowded. And here's a look at the menu for the bar. Of course, they've got more than what's listed there, but those are the specialties. And if you'd like to eat at the Oasis Grill, you can just have a seat like it says, and they will actually come and serve you. And there are menus at each of the tables, or they'll bring you out a menu, and they've got a really, really great selection. So we'll check that out here in just a bit. Really cool that they even have life jackets over there. That's nice to put on your young child, and it'll help them swim a little bit, and it'll be easier to play around with them in the pool, so that's nice. There's another view of those cabanas from inside. And here's a look inside, and to be more exact, these are actually called Oasis patios. And here you can see on this sign, it actually tells you how to reserve a patio if you'd like to do so. So here we have a look at the menu again with some of the specialty cocktails, but also they have appetizers, entrees, and even some signature dishes there. A little bit more expanded drink menu as well than what's on the wall by the bar. So a pretty wide variety of things you can get there in that Oasis restaurant. And here's another look at the Tokolo building from the outside. This is where we just were and did our room tour. Really beautiful building and facade right outside. So now we're going to head down the path and check out the rest of the resort. We'll actually even end up heading down towards the TTC and show you how to get to the TTC from the Polynesian. A lot of people would probably rather take a monorail around to the different resorts, the Magic Kingdom, or even to the TTC and eventually Epcot. But if you're on one of these longhouses on the TTC side of the resort, it actually makes more sense sometimes to walk down to the TTC and take the monorail around. The only disadvantage there at that point is that you have to go through TTC security, which is much, much more crowded than the monorail security kiosks, so that's something to keep in mind. Here's another look from the other side of that Oasis pool, and you can see this is a little bit bigger entryway with a bigger awning and things like that, but really, really beautiful. And one more view of the Oasis from the side. And this side of the resort has beautiful wide open pathways. It's really nice, especially when the golf carts are constantly passing, but also just to walk and enjoy a leisurely stroll. This is actually one of my favorite resorts to stroll, and I think you can see why. And here's one of those helpful little directional signs, and we're going to head down towards Lilo's Playhouse. And this is a great place to take the kids if you need an adult's night out, or if you just want to let the kids play here at the resort and meet some new friends. So here it is. Here's the entry to Lilo's Playhouse, and you can see Stitch sticking up above the sign there. And here you can see the bus stop just behind Lilo's Playhouse. And this is the same bus stop we showed you earlier in the video. There's only one bus stop here in the resort, so at least you can kind of get the lay of the land from where the Great Ceremonial House is compared to Lilo's Playhouse. And you can see the hours of operation, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. So not a lot of hours there, but definitely enough to maybe go out and enjoy some dinner here at the resort. And this is Tangaroa Terrace. This actually used to be a restaurant here at the Polynesian, but now it's just used for cast member events. I believe you can also book it for private functions if you'd like to do so. And as we head down towards the Transportation and Ticket Center, here's another one of those really wide paths. It looks like it may have been widened at some point, so leave me a comment if you know about that. But we're going to get to kind of a four-way intersection here, and to get to the Transportation and Ticket Center, we need to go straight across into this pathway that's a little bit harder to see behind the bushes. So here are these bushes that I was talking about, and you just go straight behind here. We'll wait for the golf cart to pass. Look at the beautiful flowering trees here. Really nice day with a pretty blue sky to record this amazing tropical resort. And over here we have this picnic area, which is for the DVC members if they'd like to grill out. And if we keep heading down this pathway, we'll get closer and closer to the TTC, but we also pass some of the other longhouses in the resort. And these are some of the best landscaped areas in the resort as well, so definitely make sure you take a walk down here even if you don't walk all the way to the TTC. And as we keep heading to the right here, we'll finally see the pathway to the TTC, and that's the path that's a little bit more of a tannish brown color. Before we head that way though, we look, there's the parking lot, so you can see how close we are to the Polynesian parking lot, but you see a sign there that says monorail. So this is the pathway to the TTC. The pathway is actually covered with bricks that have the Walk Around the World names on them, so that's pretty cool that this starts all the way down here in the Polynesian Resort leading up to the TTC. That was originally supposed to wrap all the way around the Seven Seas Lagoon, but that project was never completed. And you can see the monorail pulling into the station there, as well as a lot of the construction going on at the TTC when this was filmed in February of 2020. And so now we're back at the Great Ceremonial House, and we're going to show you how to get to Luau Cove. Can be a little bit confusing if you've never been to the resort before, but think of the Polynesian as being kind of an elongated resort along the Seven Seas Lagoon, and we were just at the extreme opposite end by the TTC, and now we're going to head towards the other end, closer to the Grand Floridian. And so here we are back at the boat harbor area where you can rent all kinds of different watercraft. And from there we'll head a little bit more to the left towards the Grand Floridian. So we'll head down the path towards some of the other longhouses at the resort. And as we go, you can see that tiki statue, which basically is the gateway to the Luau Cove area, and it shows you the sign there, Spirit of Aloha, and the Luau Cove is to the left. Actually, you can go to the right as well. So we're going to head to the right just because we get a little bit better view of the Grand Floridian Resort as well as the beach. And of course the beach is a great place to relax. They've got the swing there, or you could just hang out in the sand and really just enjoy a beautiful view of the Seven Seas Lagoon. But be sure to supervise your kids around that area because there are alligators in the area, as I mentioned before. And now there's the entrance to the Luau Cove, so we're just going to head around the path this way. Before we do though, I'd like to point out the Walk Around the World stones again. Each one of those stones has a family's name on it. And it actually stretches around towards the Grand Floridian, and then it stops at the Grand Floridian, and then it stretches around towards the entrance to the Magic Kingdom, and a little bit towards the Contemporary as well. So they didn't quite get all the way around, but they got pretty far. And I love these grassy areas in this part of the resort. There's a lot of room to play if you brought like a football or a soccer ball or whatever you'd like to play with the whole family, so bring those along if you've got room. And there you can see the main sign for the Spirit of Aloha dinner show, and you can see the show times of 5:15 and 8:15 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. So it's not 7 days a week, so be sure to plan ahead, and be sure that if you'd like to see that, you're staying on a night that they offer the show. Now, of course, you can go to the luau if you're not staying at the resort, but of course it's more convenient if you're staying here. But I love these lush pathways on the way back to Luau Cove. It's just absolutely beautiful. And the way the pathway winds, it really makes you feel like you're going into this tropical jungle somewhere to find an oasis and a luau right in the middle of this tropical area on your own private island. So it's really cool that way. And you can see this bridge over a dry creek bed. Really adds to the ambiance and the landscaping here. And here's the other side. Just so peaceful here during the day, and you're allowed to walk back in this area during the day. Of course, you can't go into the Luau Cove and stage area, but you can walk back into the waiting areas and just really relax and enjoy a little bit of serenity really close to the Magic Kingdom. It's actually, and this is where they have it roped off. Even though it's only one side, we won't go any further, but you can see where the main entrance to the Spirit of Aloha is, as well as the restroom area. And the actual Luau Cove is on the right. And here's a little better look at the waiting area, and it's just really nice with all the benches as well as the lush tropical vegetation. And of course at night they'll have the torches going, so it's really a great relaxing place to wait for your party to be called. And here's another beautiful banyan tree. These are just so amazing to me, all the different separations on the trunks, and even sometimes they have other trees growing inside of them or other plants growing throughout. Looks like some ferns growing within the tree there itself, and you can see all the different segmentations of the trunk. Just really amazing to me. And there's a little closer look at the ferns growing in the trunk. That's just absolutely remarkable. This is honestly one of my favorite places in the whole resort. It's just a great place to get lost and really just forget where you are for a minute. But then you can't forget very long, because if you look up, you can see Cinderella Castle back there as well as the Contemporary. So it's really amazing how close you are to all the action, but yet how serene it is here. And now we're coming out of the Luau Cove area, and we'll take one last look at the beachfront area here in front of the Seven Seas Lagoon. And there you can see that pathway again with the Walk Around the World stones on it. And again, Contemporary and Bay Lake Tower in the background. You can even see the Tron construction from here, of course, as well as Cinderella Castle. And I'd also like to point out that it's a really easy stroll down to the Grand Floridian from here at the Polynesian, especially from this side of the resort. So be sure you take a walk down there and just enjoy the Grand Floridian as well while you're here. Or it's just a great stroll around the Seven Seas Lagoon, even if you don't go inside the resort. And you walk by the wedding pavilion on your way down there, so that's really cool to see as well. Well, that's all for now for this full tour of Disney's Polynesian Village Resort for 2020. Be sure that you're subscribed by hitting that red subscribe button right below the video. Also, be sure to turn on the notification bell and set it to all notifications so that you get notified every time we go live or have a new video. Also, be sure to leave us a like and a comment on the video and let us know what you thought of the video, and let us know what resorts you'd like to see next. Finally, be sure to follow us on social media. We're Resort TV 1 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also, be sure to check out our sponsors, MickeyBlog.com and MickeyTravels.com. They can even help you book your trip to Disney's Polynesian Village Resort. Also, If you're thinking about moving to Central Florida, talk to Victor Naraki at celebratingflorida.com or facebook.com/NarakiRealtor. Thank you so much for watching. So for now, have a great big beautiful tomorrow. Bye-bye. Now that you've finished watching this video, be sure that you're subscribed so that you can get all of the latest updates. Also, check out some other great videos on our channel. Have a great big beautiful tomorrow. Bye-bye.